Hello everybody and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan. I hope everybody's had a marvellous Christmas, guys. You've spent a bit of time with your loved ones. Today we've got a story, but first just want to give you a bit of a recap over the last couple of weeks. So as most of you know, I had a bit of an ordeal. Travelled from Buriram to Nong Khai, tried getting over the Friendship Bridge into Laos. I was rejected because you needed a COVID test. Basically a certificate that's shown that you didn't have COVID. So I went back to Nong Khai. The car were broken down that I rented, so I had to pay for that. I had a lot of messing about. Ended up going back to Buriram, and then a few days later, I decided to jump on my scooter, PCX 150, and travelled 6 hours to the Laos border, and had to spend 3 nights in Laos in order to get my non-O visa. But I finally did it, and I got back home for Christmas so I could spend time with the family, luckily enough. Right guys, well, enough about me. Let's get on with today's story. This was sent in by a gentleman called Harry, and it's titled My First Ladyboy Experience. So we've not ran the intro for a while, so let's run the intro and let's get on with today's story. Okay guys, welcome back. Let's jump straight into it. Hi Dan, I hope all is well. Sorry to hear about your visa issues and having a hard time this time of year. I hope and pray that everything will be fine. I wish you and yours all the best this holiday season. Thanks, Harry. I have a confession to make regarding a first-time experience I had in Thailand recently. In the last 25 years, I had been to the land of smiles 4 times, on business and vacation, with my last visit only a month ago, while on business again in a neighbouring country. I had various encounters with members of the opposite sex in my last 2 trips in 2007 and last November. I have a few lousy Thai fathers to thank for very memorable and pleasurable times with their daughters, keeping me going back there whenever possible and justifiable. As an intro, let me say that I live in Tokyo and I'm in my mid-50s, in a sexless relationship for years and with proper authorization to do as I please as long as I don't put my health in danger or leave my family. For health reasons and for the last 15 years or so, I have made it a point of exercising at least 3 times a week, not drinking or smoking, sleeping a good 8 hours a night, and following a rather strict meal plan. Both my parents and my oldest sister died of heart, blood pressure, and diabetes related ailments at a relatively early age. I am doomed by my DNA pretty much, so I am doing the best to stay healthy for as long as possible. I also had bouts with depression and economic challenges that kept me away from the pleasures of the flesh. For years, my focus was on work, my own mental and physical health, and my family, despite feeling neglected as a man. I am of Spanish Arab descent and often asked if I am half Filipino, Japanese or Thai. I'm often spoken to in Arabic, French, Italian, Spanish or Portuguese. Even a Thai massage lady kept speaking to me in Thai, saying I could pass as a half local. I am often told I look 40 plus. Since young, I haven't had much of an issue finding company. The fact that I am very reserved, introvert, has been in the way of me bedding more women than I could have. Yet, and interestingly, I've always been known to attract as many guys as girls. I'm not necessarily proud about that. I grew up in a very strict Catholic household in a male-dominated society where homosexuality is now somewhat tolerated, but still unacceptable by the majority of the population. I've been hit on by guys, sometimes very blatantly, feeling angry over their cheekiness and grossed out at times, partly out of fear, pure ignorance, and the influence from a very Catholic, conservative upbringing. I'm just not into dudes. Over the years, I have had the chance to work and develop friendships with gay and lesbian colleagues, and growing older, I have become more used to accepting and respecting their lifestyle. One of my gay workmates once asked me what I'd do if my daughter came out of the closet, to which I replied that I just want her to be happy. So I don't care about her sexual orientation. Everybody deserves to be loved. Let me also say that I've always loved women, and that being with a woman is just a pleasure I would choose 1,000 times over anything else. I just can't describe how wonderful it felt to spend some intimate time with a massage girl at a parlour in Phuket, Old Town last month, and after 10 years of forced celibacy. What happens in Thailand stays in Thailand, but let me share the story about a historic life that event took place there, as per my personal history, I mean. On your channel and those of other YouTubers, I sometimes hear and read comments from guys making fun of ladyboys and commenting that they are funny as if they are clowns to be made fun of, or they're just to make you laugh. Other comments say that they'd never be with one and that you're definitely gay if you do. Most comments are pretty black and white, I must say. Believe me when I tell you I saw plenty of ladyboys in Phuket, some impressively hot looking, but which I did not even consider as potential company. I walked by some massage parlours and collected line IDs from 2 girls, but one turned out to be a he, Maggie, not her real name, worked at the massage place right across from my hotel. She caught my eye, so I approached her. Great rack and body, but the coarse voice gave her away. I simply did not see myself spending time with a ladyboy when I have never been attracted to my same gender. Also knowing she was packing a 45 Beretta like me. I collected line IDs from all the girls I spent time with in Phuket and Koh Samui, except from one, let's call her Oi. The reason why there is no picture or records of Oi is because here it comes, she is actually a ladyboy. I do have mental pictures. I'm actually laughing my ass off right now. That was on the second leg of my trip. A first and totally unplanned, believe me. I told myself this trip would make history and that I was to be back in the sack, big time. Again, I had never ever even considered such type of adventure. Here is what happened. There are a series of massage establishments close to the back entrance of the central Samui supermarket with a mixture of old ladies, ladyboys and regular girls. You need to look closely, which is hard to do because you are walking on fucked up sidewalks, surveying the female offering while being approached right and left and feeling nervous and not wanting to be seen, which is dumb since nobody cares or knows you there. During my scouting walks, I saw Oi and she caught my eye. She was sitting down and looked tiny compared to the other girls. I must have walked up and down by the shop at least twice, trying to spot her with the corner of my eye. Every time she looked me straight in the eyes with a broad smile, trying to get my attention and competing with the other girls around her. She was no stunner, but cute, petite, thin, about 1.5 meters tall, with black shoulder-length hair and eyes black as coal. She had a very symmetric face with dimples and delicate fair complexion. She wasn't dressed provocatively either. She wore a simple blouse with a barely noticeable rack, more on the side of mosquito bites, and a skirt reaching below her knees. No makeup at all. Yet she looked pretty with some unique aura about her. I even doubted she was a working girl, as she didn't look the part. I thought she was the shop's accountant, or that she was there for moral support or keeping the working girls company. Looks wise, you could put her in the middle of Tokyo and she'd pass as an average Japanese girl. There must have been 6 girls there. I saw a white dude picking up a girl, or what looked like a girl. At least half of them were obvious ladyboys, no doubt about it. After all, birds of a feather flock together, I thought. Walking by yet a third time, I saw Oi standing by the door and gathered the courage to approach her, suspecting she was indeed a ladyboy. I really needed to have a closer look, I thought. It occurred to me to have a session involving either a hand or oral massage. No full you-know-what with no need to fully undress either. I asked her if she'd be up for that and if she was a girl. To my surprise, she said it would be 300 baht, starting price, that she'd do whatever I wanted for 500 baht, and that she was actually a boy. That negotiation must have lasted under 20 seconds, but felt like an eternity due to how nervous and confused I was. I'm digesting the information, doing the currency exchange in my mind while questioning my own sexuality and everything I know about myself. She pulls me into the shops, and my legs just give in. Her looks, though simple, were a plus. The voice wasn't that of a ladyboy, by the way, no prominent Adam's apple either. She had a great smile and friendly demeanour. She was already caressing my arm, lovingly and slowly, but gently pulling me towards the inside of the shop. Part of me was a tad shocked by the whole situation and the price. Total bargain. 300 baht? I was probably sold on the price alone. Had she had a coarse voice, face hair, or a rough way about her, that would have made me change my mind and walk away. In a split second, I thought, what the heck? It'll be just a tug, nothing else. You only live once and life should be all about adventure. A few kisses down under wouldn't hurt, and I don't mean Australia. Worst case scenario, I won't function, which will hurt my ego, but it'll prove I'm not into dudes. Best case scenario, I will have a great time with a good looking fellow human being with a story to tell. I must say, she felt cold to the touch and was a tad rough and with a stronger grip than expected at first, but great with her lips and tongue. You probably won't publish this, but she went at it like a poor, hungry, I can't really say this, guys. I'll skip that bit. Luckily, I don't suffer from leprosy. Otherwise, she would have kept mini-me as a souvenir. To my own surprise, the Cyclops responded more positively than I thought, with the twins watching in awe from below. By the way, she kept her clothes on, but I went half Monty, lower half, if that makes sense. At some point, she stopped to ask me if I want her to F her, but I said no. So she went back to blowing my whistle as eagerly as before. I gave her 500 baht for her services. Oi was caring, customer orientated, responsive, making sure to have yet another satisfied customer by the end of the session. I was in some kind of enjoyable trance, still trying to comprehend what I was doing. Thailand, magic, I guess. As soon as the geyser burst, I held my head in both pleasure, shock and disbelief. I must confess that it was enjoyable when we said goodbye. Oi hugged me lovingly and gave me a quick peck on the cheek. I went back to my hotel and took a good shower, trying to wash away my sins. The deed was done and history had been made now. You can't undo what was done, can you? To be honest, I ended up visiting Oi a second time 2 days later. Oi oi. My rational mind said don't do this, but the genie was out of the bottle and my lower body said yes, go for it. It was like the body and mind pulling in opposite directions. As soon as I approached the shop, her workmates started calling her name. So she darted out of the place to greet me and pull me in again. Speaking of pulling with my direction, Oi was a bit more gentle this time, still going at it as eager as a newborn blind piglet getting breastfed for the first time. Same deal as before, Oi fully clothed and yours truly, shorts down with my bits hanging out. I gave her 1,000 baht this time and suggested that she revise her pricing system, as it did not reflect the current economic climate and her service was worth way more than 300 baht. That was my advice to her. She was very happy and thankful. I didn't ask for her line ID, perhaps out of a feeling of guilt, shame, and disbelief in what I did, preferring a memory. Do I regret it? No, not really, as it was a pleasurable interaction, and it was pleasure what I was after. You're never too old to experiment, I guess. Would I do it again? Probably not, or actually I don't know. Back home now, I have found myself fantasizing about what if I had talked to a very cute ladyboy I saw in Bangla Road, or if I had engaged Margie, the girl at the massage parlour across from my hotel in Phuket. No idea. I can assure you that seeing or playing with another guy's junk is just not my thing, no matter what you think at this point. That is a line I just don't think I can cross, but that's what I thought before I encountered Oi. Anyway, I guess the stars aligned in some weird way with Thailand casting its spell on me. It is business, all fun and games, money for pleasure. That was all plus a story to take to my grave. The funny thing is that, before my trip, an Aussie female colleague and close friend of mine had jokingly suggested that I try out a ladyboy for the experience, and because they're so cute. What happens in Thailand stays in Thailand anyway, she said. Dan, you must feel like a priest hearing this confession, but there you have it. Greetings from Tokyo. Now, Harry, I just want to say thank you for actually sharing that story. I'm sure that there's a lot of people with similar stories that have been visiting Thailand, that have been with ladyboys, and they don't tell anybody about it, and they do take it to their grave with them. But you have decided to tell your story, and I'm sure that there's going to be people that are watching that have similar stories to yours here in Thailand. Thailand has so many different options for different people, and it's up to you. Whatever you do, it's your life at the end of the day. If you're happy, you're happy. You know, each to their own. And like you say, this is Thailand. Okay guys, this has been Thai Talk with Dan. I should have a few more stories to present today. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. Ciao for now.